greatest strength to me is his approachability, his warmth, honesty, just a great, great citizen.
He's completely honest about things. He's a great public servant. He's laid back most of the time. He's not in your face, and just really a great individual.
He's honorable. He's also bright.
Absolutely, he had a great sense of humor. It was a lot of fun, very organized, determined, loving, supportive.
These are the words that describe Ray Brock, playing an instrumental role in Northland development and now honored by Northland Neighborhoods, Inc.
When you think of a large place to bring people together, to solve problems, to celebrate successes, Ray came to my mind immediately.
Dedicating a new conference room in his honor.
My association with NNI is probably the one I feel more happy about, because I think it directly affected people that needed help.
In the 1950s, he was a trailblazer as a student at William Jewell.
He was a leader, but you didn't think of him as a bookworm or somebody that thought about himself. He was the kind of person that wanted things to go well, and they did.
It's also where he met his wife, Linnea, of 68 years.
My mom and dad were definitely a team. He couldn't have done everything that he's done without her by his side.
He joined Curry Real Estate in 1954 and was tasked with acquiring land for a shopping center. Ray says being a lifelong Northlander was an asset.
But there hadn't been any development north. So anyway, they wanted somebody that said, could kind of knew his way around, said, I'm your guy.
In 1956, Curry Real Estate opens Antioch Center, the first mall north of the river.
It was a big deal. All of a sudden, there was all these people moving to the Northland, and of course we all know in real estate that the retail follows the rooftops. So to see Antioch come out of the ground and be such a community where people have lifelong memories of going to see Santa Claus and going to the small mall, and we all worked there, and you know, it was just a really cool thing.
Throughout the 60s and 70s, Ray works to expand Curry's holdings by purchasing and developing properties around Antioch Center and throughout the Northland. Ray also becomes a fierce north of the river advocate.
I said to this council person, I don't think we're getting our fair share, which was not unusual comment to make about anything in those days, because some people had never been north of the river.
Ray was one of the leaders of that. A few civic-minded people in the Northland that fought for the Northland to get their share, but also very interested in Kansas City as a whole.
We were told by the Department of Agriculture that if we didn't upgrade the zoo, that we would, that they were going to close it. Ray and other leaders of the Northland to support the zoo, and we passed the tag.
In 1980, Ray bought Curry Real Estate and its assets, relocating the offices from downtown Kansas City to Kendallwood Parkway.
He's had to play a big role, even though he would downplay it and say, well, I didn't do much, but for some reason he was always around when something happens.
After acquiring 5,300 acres of farmland from 1958 to 78, he sold it in a single transaction in 1980 to the Mormon Church, now home of the Mormon Temple and Shoal Creek Valley Residential and Commercial. When Northland Neighborhoods began in the mid-90s, Ray jumped in to support its community improvement efforts.
Except I felt they were helping people, and it was right in my backyard from a business standpoint, so I knew people and could help them.
He absolutely an astute, successful businessman, but understood that the advancement of the neighborhoods and the community was equally, if not more important.
The impact I see a lot of ways is that he was provided, you know, hundreds and hundreds of jobs, good quality jobs for a lot of people in the Northland, and thousands of quality, safe, affordable housing, and good retail and office spaces for our businesses to flourish and grow and give more value to the communities.
Ray focused on identifying specific needs in the Northland as well.
We met around her dining room table one day to talk about Vivian Road, and we called it the Vivian Road Gang.
Ray collaborated with several Northland leaders to improve the major east-west thoroughfare. Through the 2000s, Ray spearheaded the renovation of many buildings, along with adding more commercial businesses and residential properties in both Clay and Platte counties.
The growth that's occurring and all that, you have to give some credit to Ray, because it happened on his watch, and it continues to happen.
His commitment and dedication to the Northland is recognized by numerous organizations and countless awards. But more important are his personal connections.
In fact, Gerald once said to me, if I should check out before you do, ask Ray Brock for advice.
And do you?
Oh, I get after him every once in a while.
His work ethic has been passed on to his company and his 4 daughters.
He would walk a property that we own, and he walks along and there's a piece of trash. He's the first one to reach down and pick up that trash. Well, that's the kind of example that he set for not only my family, but for our Curry Real Estate Services family.
His greatest accomplishment? Close to home.
My family probably would be it.
I think his greatest measure of success is the love and nourishment of a big, happy family.
And now his impact on the Northland will always be celebrated at NNI's Ray Brock Jr. Hall.
It's very fitting, and again, he played a role in the evolution of the Northland. I mean, you couldn't pick anybody any better.
His work in the Northland will endure for generations, I believe.
He's always been a champion of the Northland Neighborhood's mission and their goals, and that, again, that's passed on. I've been involved with NNI. A lot of our associates at Curry have been involved in NNI, my family. So I'm just thrilled and honored.